Hello everybody, this is General Yanis, and today in Death Card Tactics I'm going to talk you through the pre-battle preparation as I'm preparing for the first battle of for myself in 2021, where I will be fighting Death Card versus Ultramarines 2000 points game. So let's get started. So today, the 20th of March, everything is ready for my first battle of 2021 that will happen tomorrow, and the first battle not on TTS at least with the new Codex. So I'm really excited about this. So I'm really looking forward to making this battle report in the Danish channel Skudlinjen, which means line of fire. So I will be putting my army in the line of fire. And of course, when the report is ready, I will be posting a link on this channel also, so you could basically you could see the battle if you wanted. At least it will be in Danish. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through my thoughts and how I selected the 2000 point death card list, reviewing it and then giving you some thoughts and rationale, and first look at the opponent's Ultramarines list and some first thoughts and ideas for this list. Before I start, a very big thanks and shout out to my patrons. So 14 brave patrons, let's say. So we have 2 Sepsis cohorts. So a big thanks to Dennis, Manusos, Winchester, Ricard, T-Sharp, Mike, Command Arm, Sean, Rafal, Pete, Ryan, Max, Sellers, and Ben. So thanks to all for the support. So let's take a look. So looking at my death card 2000 point list, before I give you the list, what were some of the criteria I had to go through and how did I select? So first of all, since the game is going to be filmed and be a battle report, of course I needed all the units needed to be fully painted. And I had some units that maybe I wanted to bring, but I didn't have them ready. And I don't know about you guys, but I mean, since the lockdowns and it's difficult to play, and waiting for the new Codex, I haven't been fully making everything ready. So I have a few things that I would like to bring, but they were not painted yet. So I didn't. I took from my existing painted unit, let's say. And then, of course, one important criteria for any death card list at the moment is take Mortarion or not Mortarion. I think that's the single most important decision when you're making a list with our new Codex. And I think for the battle report, I think it would be better without Mortarion. So I've selected the list. I made a list without Mortarion. And I think that if you take Mortarion, I feel that he basically takes so much focus of the game. Let's say Mortarion becomes like, let's say, the Ultramarines versus Mortarions, and instead of seeing what other death card units would like to do. So because of this, I selected to make a list without Mortarion. And then on the scale of casual list and competitive list, I think in this channel for the battle reports is more towards casual list rather than like cutthroat competitive list. And I think also this is so I have been looking more to make a more casual list, also giving a better opportunity to showcase a larger variety of death card units rather than taking 3 of every of the best unit, let's say. And I wanted to try also some of the new units like the Miasmic Malignifier, just to see how that would perform. So those were some ideas before I selected the list. So here is my death card 2000 points. Here is the picture here, and I have a battalion. So my HQ is the Lord of Contagion, 420 points. And by his side is the Malignant PlagueCaster, almost an auto-include now, I think, to make a working list. And I opted for something here that is not so expensive in the HQ. In the troop choices, I went for a big 10 Plague Marine squad here with a bit focused on melee. So the champion has a plasma pistol and a Powerfist. I have 2 guys with the Flails and 2 guys I just finished painting with the Cleavers. Really looking forward to try those. I haven't tried the Cleavers on the tabletop yet. So I would like to see what a big group can do with Flails and Cleavers. 1 guy has an axe. Then I didn't have all the others ready, let's say, for a full melee squad. So I opted for 2 Blight launchers in this squad to add some firepower. And then the rest of the guys are bolters. 1 guy has a bubotic axe. So this group is costing, unfortunately, a hefty 288 points. But it would be interesting to see if they can get involved into melee, what this squad can do. And then I brought another Plague Marine unit, a smaller squad, 5 Plague Marines. The champion has the Powerfist and Plasma Gun on his back, and then 1 Blight Launcher guy and 1 Plasma guy. So this is a, let's say, a more shooty squad, a small squad maybe to take some objectives and shoot from further far. And then I have 2 groups of 10 Poxwalkers to take backfield objectives and make secondaries maybe, or something like this. So of course Poxwalkers, a cheap fill out unit, giving you some good board presence. It's not very easy to remove 10 Poxwalkers, I hope. And then when we go to the elite choices, I have 2 characters, the Tallyman for 70 points. I think Tallyman almost is an auto-include now, giving command points, having the possibility for the Relic, giving +1 to hit, for example, for a big squad of Marines or Blight Lords or something like this. And of course the foul Blightspawn, also a very good unit. And I selected to give him the Pathogen, Viscous Death, for re-rolling his number of shots, so he's 85 points. So I think those are my 2 most favorite HQ characters, let's say. Oh, sorry, HQ elite characters. And then we have the 5 Blight Lord Terminators back here. And this was the squad I had ready. I have more Blight Lords. I haven't finished the weapons yet. So 1 guy has the Flail, almost an auto-include, I think. Then one guy has the Reaper autocannon. And then the others have combi bolters. And I have 1 axe in the squad and 3 swords. That was the configuration that I had. So I haven't tried to optimize this in any way. But those were the 5 guys I have. So for 210 points, they can bring some firepower, they can bring some staying power, they can deep strike. I hope. Let's see what they can do. I hope they show Blight Lords on the good side. Previously, when I've taken Blight Lord Terminators, they haven't been doing so well. So I hope now that they will prove me wrong. Let's say. And then the 3 Death Shroud. I think all the data from this new Codex, I think the Death Shroud with their Reapers are really strong. If they can get in melee, they have the deep strike possibility. I took 3 of those, and I had 5 points at the end in the army, so I gave the champion an extra gauntlet. Not that I think it's super useful against Space Marines, but since I had the 5 points, I just brought 1 more gauntlet. So I have high hopes for the Death Shroud. And then in the fast attack, of course, a must probably, a Blowthorn with the mower. Just finished painting that now, 135 points. And then a Blowthorn with speeders. So the Blowthorn with speeders was one of my favorite units at 8th edition, before they got this very high point increase, and then it was no point fielding that for 155 points. But for 130 points, I'll give it a go. I like the fact that it has some shooting. You can advance and shoot the Plague Speeder. So strength 6 weapon. Maybe if the Space Marines are in Contagion, I would be wounding on 2s. That would be really good. But let's see if how it will turn out tomorrow. And then, almost again auto-include in the heavy support 2 Plague Burst Crawlers with Entropy Cannons and Slugger. Normally I would bring 3, but I made room for more Blowthorn or to get a bit more Terminators, and then limit myself to 2 Plague Burst Crawlers. So I think those guys will be staying in the back and doing damage and providing fire support for the whole army. And then a fortification detachment. I haven't tried that before, and I've asked my opponent that we will find room on the table for the terrain here for the fortification. So the Miasmic Malignifier, just painted it, and really happy with how it turned out, and it was fun model to paint and build. So first time I will try this fortification, and it will be nice to see if it will survive. Will it be? I'm hoping it can spread the contagion to Space Marines in a large area of the board. So let's see how it will work, and it could provide cover for my infantry if they can come wholly within 6 inches. So really excited to test it tomorrow. And then looking at that was the list, and then what Plague Company traits, relics, and powers I selected. So I selected the Inexorable Plague Company for all the units, for both detachments, let's say, mainly to get the +1 AP Contagion to help the damage we can make to the Ultramarines, giving even bolters or the mortar, the blight, anything can benefit from +1 AP. A lot of things can benefit, at least for the +1 AP, if we can put the contagion, the Ferric blight, to the opponent. And also it gives access to the nice stratagem of making it more difficult for the opponents to charge our units. For example, if there come some Space Marines and want to charge the Plague Scrollers, maybe this stratagem could provide helpful, giving -2 to the charge roll. The Lord of Contagion will be the Warlord, and he takes the Ferric Blight Warlord trait, and with his Contagion ability, he has +3 inch to his Contagion range already from the beginning. And I opted to give him the Reaper of Glorious Entropy Relic, and this is then it becomes even stronger in melee. So if the Lord of Contagion may be deep striking together with the other guys, I'll see. He would probably be a beast in melee if he can get into melee with the opponent. As a 2000 points game, I could add 2 more relics for my characters, and I didn't want to give anything for champions. I wanted to save some CP, so I chose here to give the Tallyman the Tollkeeper relic to get exploding sixes for core unit shooting. It would be nice to get some of the Blight launchers, maybe the Reaper autocannon, something giving sixes, getting exploding sixes for bolter fire and anything basically. And for foul Blightspawn, I took the Revolting Stench Vats, having a 6-inch aura, not allowing opponents to fight first. So I was hoping if I can use this to my advantage, if my units are charged by some Terminators or some other Space Marine very strong melee units, if we could fight first, our infantry could fight first, it could really make a big difference in the game. So those were the 2 relics I selected. I also considered to give the PlagueCaster the Putrid Repiart, so he could know 1 more power of Contagion, but I didn't. I preferred to give those 2 guys the relics instead. So in the psychic powers, Miasma of Pestilence I think will be helpful. So I took this one, and then I was really torn what second power to give to the PlagueCaster, between Gift of Plagues to make the Contagion range bigger, and Curse of the Leper. And at the end I decided for taking Curse of the Leper, and I think it's really fun if we have the Space Marines in -1 toughness Contagion and be able to deal mortal wounds on 4+. That's really fun. The Gift of Plagues could also help, but I hope that Magnifier with a 9-inch Contagion range already will do a lot of this. And it's a pity that we don't have access to this stratagem where we mid-game could change the psychic power, because here I would like them to start with a Gift of Plagues in the first couple of turns, getting a few extra inches on the Contagion, yeah, and then go to the Curse of the Leper, but now I'll just go with the Curse of the Leper. And with this list, my ideas for secondaries, of course I will have to see the mission first, but I'm thinking something along the lines of engage on all fronts. I have the drones that are quite mobile, I have units that can deep strike. I would like also to try some death card specific secondary, like Spread the Sickness, utilizing the Poxwalkers, maybe if there are several objectives close to the line, close to our deployment zone, that would be interesting. Maybe considering the mission specific or some opponent specific, let's say, depending on the army list, I will see if I take something else. I was considering maybe the While We Stand We Fight, but now with the new rules change for this list, it would be the Blightlord Terminators, this big squad of Marines, and then 1 Plaguebear Scroller. And I would ideally want to have, let's say, the Plaguebear Scrollers being the While We Stand We Fight. But let's see. I will decide tomorrow during before the game starts. But these are my ideas, at least with this list. So what didn't make it in the list, let's say, and what were some basic ideas here? So I'm really happy with his HQ choices. I think I would those are my 2 favorite ones so far from the new Codex. For low point cost, a lot of Contagion and the PlagueCaster. For troops, if I would do it a bit differently, maybe I should have split the big squad. Now that it's a very big target and blast weapon, probably it would be better to have 2 squads of 5 instead of 1 squad of 10. But I was really tempted to see a big squad with 2 flails and 2 cleavers, what that could do in melee. And I added the blight launchers for shooting, as I didn't have a full melee squad, so I made a combined thing. Here, of course, I could have selected to go 3x7 for a more fluffy list, but let's see. I hope you will, you will not be too upset that I went for 5 and 10. The Poxwalkers, of course, are really good to and a cheap, nice objective holder. Tallyman and Foul Blightspawn feel like an auto-include. The Death Shroud seems to be one of the toughest units we have in close combat. I would prefer, if I would be going more competitively, I would probably replace the Blight Lords with some Death Shrouds and then maybe more Plagueburst Crawlers. But okay, let's see. I hope the Blight Lords also can do their thing here. For fast attack, I think the mower is really fun to use, and it will be nice against Marines with damage 2 weapon here. But for nostalgic regions, I also wanted to take one with the speeders, but probably this is not, let's say, the optimal use I would do. And Plagueburst Crawlers are an auto include. Normally I would go for 3. Probably I would keep more or less this list, but I would probably get a 3rd Plagueburst Crawler, take out maybe this one, and add more Death Shroud instead of the Blight Lords. Probably that would be more a better list. And then I don't know with a Malignifier if I will try it, so I'll see if it works. And in the beginning, when I was trying to sketch this list, I was thinking to take a Rhino to transport this big squad of Plague Marines. But in the end, I was a bit fearing that the opponent would have a lot of, let's say, Meltas and things like that, maybe blowing it up, and then I would be stuck there. And I was thinking, okay, maybe if I just can advance these guys and they can come close to the Malignifier and get cover, that could also be helpful. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then I think competitively, I would need to add some maybe Contemptor Dreadnoughts with Volkites to this to my collection, but I don't have them and I can't bring them to this game. So and then after I selected my list, I showed I also received the information from my opponent what his list will be, and I didn't know, of course, his list when I decided to make my list. I think this makes up for a more fun game rather than to know the opponent and then just fix a list just against them. So here is the Ultramarines 2000 points list. So the HQ is a captain and the chief librarian Tigurius Psyker. For troops, there are 3 units of intercessors, and then we have for the elites, here is we have a lot of dreadnoughts. We have 2 Redemptor dreadnoughts, one with a Gatling gun, let's say, onslaught Gatling gun, and then the other has a plasma incinerator, and they have the claw, which is really lethal in melee, and some good firepower here, more anti-infantry, this more anti-vehicle, a higher strength weapon here, and then an ironclad dreadnought, which can be tough to bring down with toughness 8. And then we have veteran intercessors. The champion has a hammer here. I don't know if you can see that. And then a scary unit, 10 Vanguard veterans here, Terminators with jump packs. They can move 12 inches. They have thunder hammers. They have shields. They will be a pain, I think, to face those guys. Let's see what I can do to bring them down or slow them down, and maybe put them in some contagion, shoot them, charge them, whatever. This is probably going to be a difficult unit to face. And then for heavy support, it's a very nice tank here, the Gladiator Reaper. So the twin onslaught Gatling cannon has 32 shots, strength 6, AP -1, and damage 1. This becomes AP -2 in the Devastator doctrine, and strength 6 is a good strength against Death Guard, unfortunately, and damage 1 is probably the optimal to use against the infantry for Death Guard now. So it's a bit scary unit for the infantry. And then 3 eradicators, always of course a pain to face for our vehicles, but let's see, they are only 3 thankfully, and maybe I can use some Plague Burst Crawlers to minimize this threat. And then in the transport there is this Impulsor, and yeah, it has some good capability to deliver troops and disembark them already from turn 1. So that gives, of course, the opponent some easy some freedom to make different strategies from the first turn. So my initial thoughts, seeing this list, that it has a lot of anti-infantry firepower, a lot of good firepower versus Death Guard, and some also some anti-vehicle firepower. And the Vanguard veterans seem to be a big threat, very mobile and very dangerous in melee, and very sturdy with invul saves and shields and things like that. And unfortunately, also with Tigurius on the table, I will not be dominating the psychic phase. I was hoping I kind of had the psychic phase for myself. He's a stronger psyker. I think he has +1 to his denies or his psychics, and he can reroll also failed psychic powers. So all in all, he's a stronger psyker than a Malignant PlagueCaster. So I really hope that Nurgle will bless the PlagueCaster with some good dice rolling. And the Dreadnoughts, of course, tough opponents, all core units, and basically, yeah, almost everything here is core units, and they can benefit from rerolls. And thankfully, they don't have invul saves. At least the tanks here. I think the Impulsor could potentially have invul save. And yeah, the Impulsor, as I said, it can transport some of this infantry and disembark them already from turn 1, maybe giving a good board presence from the beginning that I have to fight myself back. So I think also who gets the first turn will be quite important for the game. So final thoughts, really excited to finally bring my new Death Card to the tabletop, and of course when the battle report is up there in YouTube, I will post the link. It will be in Danish, but I will probably make an English summary review of the battle. So hopefully Nurgle will bless the units with the needed resilience to face these Ultramarines, and hopefully I can bring glory to the Death Card, and don't forget too many stratagems and grenades and all else to playing the Ultramarines. So let me know in the comments what you think about my list and the opponent's list, and if you have any comments or question on the list, or maybe any last minute tips or ideas that I could remember for tomorrow. And yeah, this concludes the video. If you like this video, please press like and subscribe to the channel, where I will be posting more videos on Death Guard. And let me know in the comments what you think about my list, as I said. If you want to further support my channel, please visit my Patreon page. And with these words, General Yanis is signing out. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.